this guy was running on the beach. He went for a jog, and he said, I see such beautiful hotels. Maybe I'll go in and I'll make a reservation, and I'll enjoy I'll make myself a little khufsha, a little holiday. Sit on the beach, read some books, have good food. Sounds great, right? Tough. He says, I'm gonna run on the beach until I find a place that looks nice. Tough. He's running along and he sees this hotel and that kind of hotel and so on. And all of a sudden he sees this beautiful premises, a lot of grass, Olympic-sized pool. Here's Lee. Hi, Lee.
Hi.
Olympic-sized pool. He sees beautiful balconies with view to the beach. Everything looks chabal al hazman. So he goes in. He says, I wanna make a reservation for 2 nights here. He makes a reservation. והוא מה זה מבסוט? He walks into his room, beautiful room, comfortable beds. He goes down for supper. He eats a nice and delicious, healthy supper. He's eating. Hi, Chana. Chana? She's not connected. Chana, את צריכה לחבר את זה למיקרופון. מחוברת? אוקיי, אני ממשיכה עם הסיפור שלי. אני מספרת איזה סיפור נמשל. בקיצור, this guy is very happy with himself. He has a good supper. He watches TV. He goes to sleep. He wants to sleep in late tomorrow morning. 6 o'clock in the morning, he hears bell ringings and people are running outside. He says, oh my God, maybe there's a fire or something. He puts on his clothes. He runs quickly downstairs in the lobby. He sees everyone is running in all kinds of different ways. He follows them. He's running. And then they come back to the hotel. They come back to the hotel and they tell him, okay, everyone, you go to your rooms, get showered, get dressed, and then come down for a nice breakfast. Okay. He goes to his room, he showers, he's a little bit mad that this thing woke him up at 6 o'clock in the morning. He says, after breakfast, I'm gonna find out what happened. Okay. He comes down, he eats a very good breakfast, eggs and rye bread and orange juice that was freshly squeezed, chabal al hazman, healthy and delicious. So he goes up to his room and he's trying to think, what should I do? Should I do this now? Should I take a rest? Should I go back to sleep? And all of a sudden again, he hears the bells ringing and balagan. He goes off quickly, he runs downstairs. He sees everyone coming down the steps and the elevators and everything. And he goes after the guys and they're running and now they're into the sea. They're swimming in the water. He says, Tov, maybe there was some kind of a virus, a chaydak, it has to be washed off in the water. He says, this is crazy. I came on a holiday. Ma kore po? Tov, he swims with them wherever they swim out to. He swims back in. And then, dripping wet, he goes to the Kabbalah and he says, I want to speak to the manager. Eze min davar ze? I came for a holiday and look what's going on here. 6 o'clock in the morning, you have a problem with mechabe esh, and then you have a problem with chaydakim, ma olech po? And then the manager looks at him and he says, what do you think? You came here for a holiday? You came to Machon Vingate. This is a place where we're working. It's a cheder kosher. This is not a holiday. מה הנמשל של הדבר הזה? We all came to this world and we have complaints. This one is not getting married. That one is sick. The other person is his child is born with a defect, and this one לא מסתדר לה בזוגיות. כל אחד עם הקשיים שלה. Everyone with her difficulties in life. And we come with complaints, and we're making a major mistake because we didn't come for a Beit Malon here to this world. We came here to Vingate. We came here to work, לעבוד על מידות הנפש. כל העבודה שלנו זה נועד לקדם אותנו, and we make a mistake and we think that we came here to have an easy life, אבל זה לא הולך ככה. אז אני אוהבת את המשל הזה, because it always brings me back into proporציות. And I want to start the shiur today דווקא מהסוף להתחלה, from the end to the beginning. And also I want to להקדיש את השיעור לעילוי נשמתו של ארבל טוביה בן אלון יוסף ברננה. It's my niece's baby. He was 8 months old. And this week is his yahrzeit. And I'm going to start today with the end. Rabbi Nachman gives us a mashal about birds, about a certain bird. So first, we'll talk about the bird. And then we're going to go to Rabbi Nachman's sipur, to the story, and then we'll see what he has to teach us in the mashal sipur. Okay? Okay, so in בעולם הטבע, in nature, we have יחסי גומלין של פרזיטים, parasites. Parasitim is parasites, okay? And we're going to talk about parasites in birds, okay? What is this? What's with Esther Bloch? Is she joining in us? Does someone know what's with Esther and גילה? טוב, אנחנו ממשיכות. פתאום נזכרתי שהיא לא פה. Okay, so what is this? מה זה התופעה הזאת של הפרזיטים? What is the parasites in birds? So we're all probably familiar with a bird, with a crow, with the gray crow that we see over here and every place around Israel. And the gray crow is the host, is the pundekai, for the eggs of the kukiya. Kukiya in English is a cuckoo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but a kukiya in Hebrew, and in English it's called cuckoo. C-U-C-K-O-O. Okay? What happens over there? What happens over there is that the kukiya, the cuckoo, she can lay between 300 and 400 eggs for every season, okay? And the crow lays between 4 and 6 eggs. And how do they do it? A few days before she wants to lay her eggs, the cuckoo bird, she hangs around the nest of the crow, and she's collecting that data, what's going on there, modi'in, okay? And then comes the male of the kukiya, and he chases away, he starts to fight with the mother crow, and then the mother crow leaves her nest. And then in that a few seconds, it only takes you 2 to 3 seconds, the mother cuckoo comes into the nest of the crow, 2-3 seconds, and she lays an egg or two, and then she leaves. Sometimes she lays it on the side of the can. She doesn't go all the way into the nest. She stands on the side, and when the egg rolls into the nest, sometimes it even breaks the shell of the eggs that the mother crow laid already inside her nest. And then when the mother crow comes back, if there's a broken shell, so then she knows that a chicken can't come out, a bird can't hatch, and she throws the egg out of the nest. And she doesn't know that she meanwhile has 1 or 2 or 3 different eggs. It goes according to numbers. If the mother kukiya sees that there are too many eggs, more than 4 to 6 eggs, so she can't. She's not going to lay her eggs there. She's going to take 1 or 2 eggs that were there before, and she's going to throw them out of the nest, and then she's going to lay her eggs. Okay, and this is the way she goes from nest to nest. She has to go to at least, let's say, 100 nests in order to lay even, I don't know, 2-3 eggs in a nest. And she also lays her eggs in her nest, but only, again, 3, 4, 5 eggs. And then she incubates them. ועוד מעט נדבר על ההמשך, and so we'll talk what happens there. Meanwhile, in the crow's nest, the crow comes back to her nest, and she sees the eggs, and she thinks that they're hers. If one of them or 2 of them are broken, she's gonna throw them out, but she's gonna sit on the eggs, and she's gonna incubate them. And then when the eggs hatch, she doesn't know that it's not her eggs, because ככל הנראה, they think that the shape and the color and the texture is very similar between the crow's eggs and the cuckoo's eggs. Okay, and she's gonna incubate them, and when the eggs hatch, the mother's gonna feed all of them. She doesn't know that they're not her איך אומרים גוזל?
Birds. Chicks.
Baby
No.
Chicks. Baby bird chicks.
Okay, she doesn't know that that not all the baby chicks there are hers, and she feeds them and she takes care of them, and whatever, and they grow up and they fly away. Okay. And I don't know if you're familiar with the author Leah Goldberg, which is an Israeli very famous author, and she has a very cute story. It's called Dira Le'askir, and over there she relates to the mother Kukiya as someone that no one wants to share the building with her. They don't want to be her neighbors, because what kind of a mother lays her eggs and puts them out in different birds' nests? זה לא מקובל, זה לא יפה ככה לעשות, זה לא אימהי. So they're very, I think we meet the kukiya as a very negative bird. כלומר, כל הדעות וכל ההתייחסות אליה היא מאוד שלילית. It's very negative. And over here, Rabbi Nachman is going to open up a different angle for us about this bird. But beforehand, I want to say a few words about why does the kukiya do this? Why does the mother cuckoo lay her eggs in different nests? Okay, so there are about 4 different answers, and we don't know where the truth lies, but somewhere in between these 4 answers. So the first answer that the chokorim say is that there aren't enough places. וואי, אני לא בדקת את המילה כינון. איך אומרים כינון? Are you familiar with the word in Hebrew? I'm going to try to look it up in Morphix. Lekanen is where they build their nest, and then where they find different food, different little worms. One second. Sorry, I'm trying to look up kinun meanwhile. Nesting. Okay, there are not enough areas for nesting, and that's why the bird has to. That's why this bird, the kukiya, has to lay her eggs in different nests. There isn't. If she's gonna have to have enough nests for all her 400 eggs that she lays, there's not enough. There's not enough mash'abim. There's not enough chomer b'teva b'shvil ze. Okay. So that's why there's some kind of a shituf pula, there's some kind of a cooperation that during the centuries it turned into parasites, but it was really helping each other with the nesting. That's one reason that they say. Second reason that they say is that the food that the mother kukiya eats is dangerous for her little baby chicks, because she eats different worms that can be poisonous. But for her stomach, it's not poisonous, and for a newborn's stomach, it is poisonous. Just like food that we as adults eat, we can't give newborns to eat, right? They have either mother milk or materna or Similac or whatever. They can't eat food like us. So, so the mother bird doesn't know how to bring different worms for the babies. So that's why a different mother that does know which worms are good brings it for her baby.
You said that she does keep some by herself. In the beginning, you said 2 or 3 birds. So what happens to those? They die because they're poisoned?
Maybe, I don't know. לא יודעים. I don't know. Okay, בוא נמשיך. The third siba is to avoid prey. Okay, the more in this way she can the percentage of reproduction is much higher than of making her own nest, because then they're more חשופים for prey, לחיות טרף שיטרפו אותם. Okay, so it's in a way, did you understand what I said?
No, at that point.
They're more vulnerable to for birds to prey on them than if they're in less places.
Okay.
If there are 50 cans, or if there's a nest or 20 nests, so then of course they're less vulnerable.
Yeah.
Okay, and the fourth reason is that I think makes the most sense is that in this way, because the mother bird can't incubate so many eggs, so in this system of being a parasite, she can actually the percentage of reproduction is much higher. Okay, because every nest is going to have only a few eggs, אז אחוזי הצלחה הרבה יותר גבוהים. the percentages of that the birds will incubate and hatch are much higher. Okay, so then her reproduction will be much higher than other birds. So this is what the nature has to offer us. Okay, and maybe we have to ask our question as of how does the cuckoo finally know that she's not a crow but a cuckoo? Does she ever leave the nest? Does she ever go back and visit the nest? Does she remember that she grew up in a different nest? איך הבן אדם בסוף, איך הציפור בסוף יודעת שהיא לא עורב? נכון, היא רק ציפור.
Do they have the same what do you call it? Noises, the same, does every bird make the same sounds?
No, every bird has a different sound.
So then she would recognize that the orave is not her mother.
נכון.
That's like the ugly duckling that, you know, he just kept looking for someone that was like him.
נכון. So we'll see. Soon we'll see what Rabbi Nachman has to say about that. Okay? But I just want you to bear that in mind. Okay? All what we have spoken about. And now let's read Rabbi Nachman's story. Okay? And we'll see. I think it always amazes me that Rabbi Nachman that died 200 years ago, more than 200 years ago, and there was no Google and there were no little YouTubes to watch to see how things go, and he knew all this. Mamash, he knew everything. Soon we'll read it in the story. זה לא יאומן. Okay? זה תמיד מרגש אותי מחדש. It always excites me. Okay, let's read the story. סיפרו לי בשמו. Okay, of course, Rabbi Natan is writing down the story that he wasn't present when Rabbi Nachman told the story, so סיפרו לי בשמו, שאמר לעניין עסק הקיבוץ שלו משל. What does it mean, עסק הקיבוץ? It means that when Rabbi Nachman got all his Hasidim together, it was called a kibbutz. מלשון להתקבץ. Okay, להתקבץ is to come together. Okay? I just want to say, soon we'll talk about it in בהרחבה, but Rabbi Nachman didn't have a chatzer. He didn't have a lot of Hasidim that were constantly around his house and waiting for him. On the contrary, he didn't allow that. He used to have 3 times a year that he let all his ma'aminim and all his Hasidim come to his chatzer. It used to be on Shabbat Chanukah, on Shavuot, and on Rosh Hashanah. Okay, those were the only 3 days a year that he let all his Hasidim come into a kibbutz. Okay, during the other day, and then there were 2 more days during the year. Each time they were different. The Rabbi Nachman would go out to different villages, and over there they would litkabetz beyachad into a kibbutz. They would gather together into a kibbutz. Okay, most of the Hasidim, of the manigim Hasidim, they had a chatzerot. They had the different chatzer is courtyard. I don't know how you say, if that's the way to say it about the Hasidim, that they used to hang around and stick around and sit there from when the sun rose in the morning until when the sun went to sleep at night, וכאילו כל היום היו יושבים שם ובלילה וכל היום מתאספים שם. אבל אצל רבי נחמן זה היה שונה. He didn't allow that. להפך, he told people not to come. Okay, he even said that he distanced the people. He wait, I wrote it down. He banished them. He told them to go away. He sent them out to do their own התבודדויות. He wanted his Hasidim to stand alone mul HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and not as a part of a klal of his chatzer. And also when he died, before he died, he knew he was going to die. He died at the age of 38 from tuberculosis, by the way. And he didn't, איך אומרים, הוא לא מינה אחריו ממשיך. He didn't, איך אומרים למנות? He didn't, what?
Appoint.
He didn't appoint, thank you. He didn't appoint a rabbi or a talmid or someone that's going to be his continuer. Mamash lo. He wants each and every one of us to be his manig of his own. Okay? Tov, I said enough and let's read the story. So what does he say about the inyan shel kibbutzim? He says like this, Mashal, sheyesh of echad, there is one bird, shemetil beitzim harbe meod. There's one bird that lays many eggs, because it's very different, all the amount, the quantity of the eggs that the cuckoo lays ביחס לשאר הציפורים, okay? Other birds lay them in fields, and she lays them in 10 and maybe even in 100 someplace I saw, okay? שיש עוף אחד שמטיל ביצים הרבה מאוד, ריבוי מופלג, עד שאי אפשר לא לשב עליהם על כולם להוליד מהם עופות. That bird lays so many eggs that she can't even incubate them. Just physically, she can't do that. ונתן לו השם יתברך בטבעו, and הקדוש ברוך הוא gave him a present in his nature of the bird, שהולך ומשליך בעורמה איזה ביצים בקן עוף אחד, וכן משליך עוד איזה ביצים בקן אחר, וכן משליך ביצים שלו בקינים של עופות אחרים. One second, I'm going to stop here. הקדוש ברוך הוא gave him, the bird, a quality and איכות to know how to lay her eggs בעורמה. Okay, remember before I told you about the cuckoo that she hangs around the nest of the crow and she collects database and modi'in, and then they shoo away the mother crow, and then she comes quickly and she lays her egg. Be'orma, how do you say orma? In a very
Orma is sly.
In a sly way? Whatever. May, do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not the greatest word, but yeah, in a sly way, she lays her eggs in the other nest, and like that she goes from nest to nest to lay her eggs. Okay? I'm continuing. ואלו העופות האחרים, and these other birds, אינם יודעים שהביצים אינם שלהם. The other birds don't know that these eggs are not hers, because as we said before, they look alike. They have the same shape, the same color. Okay? והם יושבים עליהם, and they incubate them, עד שמולידים מהם עופות, until they hatch and little baby birds are born. וגם זה העוף, also this host, okay, the crow, לוקח לעצמו כמה סליחה, not the crow, the cuckoo, okay, וגם זה העוף, הקוקייה, לוקח לעצמו כמה ביצים שלו, he takes a few eggs of his own, ויושב עליהם, and he incubates them, ומוליד לעצמו עופות. Okay, until the eggs hatch and baby birds, baby chicks come out. ואחר כך, and afterwards, פורח העוף הנעל עם הילדים שלו. The mother bird takes her little baby birds that were born. ומתחיל לצפצף. They start to fly in the sky. And they're singing. The kukiya is known to be a bird that sings. Okay? ואזי שומעים כל העופות שנעשו אצל אחרים מביצים שלו, והם מכירים הכל ונמשכים מיד אחר העוף הנ"ל, שבאמת יצאו ממנו וחוזרים אליו. So the mother kukiya takes the few birds that she has with her, and they fly up in the sky and they start to sing. And then it reminds me a little bit of the story of Achalilan Mehemlin, for whoever is familiar. And the birds that grew out of the eggs that were laid in different nests of different birds of the crow, they all of a sudden hear the music, they hear the singing, and they feel that it's connected to them, that this is really where they belong. And then they merge with the mother bird and they go back to the mother. Okay? And then Rabbi Nachman says something very interesting at the end of his story. He says, והנמשל מובן מעט למי שיודע איזה רמז מעניין גדולת עסק הנהגת של רבנו זיכרונו לברכה עם העולם. So this comment that they're basically saying in this comment is that this story explains to us the way Rabbi Nachman is a manhig in the world. Okay? Because he's a very different manhig, just like we said before, than other Hasidim manhigim. Okay? Now, let's see how is it different. So maybe we should first start saying that Lo Stam, Rabbi Nachman brought us over here a mashal about a bird, okay? Everyone would want to have wings. Everyone would want to have the ability to fly up high in the sky and להגיע למחוזות אחרים וגבוהים. Everyone would want to go into עולם הרוח and to find different dreams and עומקים שונים של רוחניות, okay? And May, are you with me?
Yeah.
And this is the beginning to understand Dafka about the bird, okay? Why we're using the bird as a mishal here. And when we're thinking about Avodat Hashem, so of course wings and the ability to fly is essential by Avodat Hashem, okay? Rabbi Nachman sees himself not only as a bird himself that can fly, but also as a teacher to teach others how to fly by Avodat Hashem. Okay, how to get to these very deep places in Avodat Hashem. And even maybe more than that, we can say that he is the, I have to think how to say it in English, but the Av Tipus, the, איך אומרים Av Tipus? Becky?
I don't know how.
Like he made up the way, the Torah of how to teach other people to fly. Okay? אתם מבינות אותי?
Okay.
אב טיפוס, מה זה?
קצת, ask people to fly.
Rabbi Nachman is, we're talking about flying in Avodat Hashem. Rabbi Nachman wants to say that he teaches other people how to fly. He's like the mother bird, like the kukiya, okay? That he sends his people out. So we'll talk.
The word
about
is an archetype.
Okay, מצוין.
Archetype.
נכון. In Hebrew you say Achitipus.
Archetypus, דיוק. Oh, and Jim's not here.
נכון, but May can understand that Achitipus.
Yeah.
Okay, of how to fly, and Rabbi Nachman says, I have so many chassidim, so many followers. I feel like the mother bird of the kukiya. I don't have enough room or time to sit on all the birds and to sit on all the eggs that I'm gonna lay and to incubate them. I can't physically, I can't do that. There's so many followers that want me, that want to come here, that want to be here, but I can't really be. I can't really incubate each and every one of them because there are too many for me. So what do? I send them out to different nests. When he says I send them out to different nests, he actually says I sent them out into the woods to do itbodedut. Do you know what itbodedut is?
Meditation. Meditate.
It's not exactly to meditate. It's to talk straight with the Kadosh Baruch Hu when there's no one around you that can bother you. Okay. Now, Rabbi says every person should go out once a day and talk to Kadosh Baruch Hu and talk with him like you talk with a friend. Ze hanchaya. That's what itbodedut is. Go out, sit in the fields. Be far from people, but feel that you're so close with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, you can talk with him, just like you have a chat with your friend. Okay? טוב, אז בואו נמשיך. So, Rabbi Nachman says that every person is supposed to be a manhig of himself. Every person is supposed to stand before Kadosh Baruch Hu and do his avodat Hashem and learn everything on his own. Of course, Rabbi Nachman has a lot of good etzot to give people. He has good tips to tell people. If people come and ask him questions, he's going to always be very happy to give them a good answer and to help them out. But initially, he's not interested in people coming and being dependent on him. He wants people to be atzmaim. He wants them to be autonomim, okay? To be independent and not to be dependent on Rabbi Nachman, okay? So this is זה מובן מה שאני מסבירה על החצר של רבי נחמן?
לומר, אם הוא שולח אותם החוצה.
לא שמעתי?
איפה הסטאז'? איפה ההדרכה? אין? Just send them out and you say, fly away?
א', יש 3 ימים בשנה שבאים אליו. יש ימיים שהוא בא אליהם. אתם יודעות שבכל הליקוטי מוהר"ן שהוא כתב, אז תמיד יש לו עצות שמה. הוא נותן לנו עצות. אבל המילה עצה זה לא מילה טובה לעצה. איך אפשר להגיד עצה במילה יותר מוצלחת?
Not advice?
מה?
Not advice?
Advice? Yeah, maybe advice is a good one. Advice, suggestion, recommendation. Yeah, advice, אולי זו מילה טובה. Okay? So this is the way Rabbi Nachman believes is the right way to do it, okay? Not to wrap them up in Betzemer Geffen, in Kate, not to protect them, to send them out into the world. They have a few days that they come to him, that he comes to them. He has all his different stories and Likutei Muharan and Likutei Halachot. He has a lot of things that are written down with a lot of recommendation and advice for his Hasidim. And he believes that this is the way, okay? This is the right way to, I say it in Hebrew, להכשיר כל בן אדם להיות מנהיג של עצמו, לפתח את הכנפיים שלו, שהוא יוכל לעוף לבד, שהוא ידע מי זה אני שלו, מי הוא ומה הוא, okay? And in English, Rabbi Nachman wants every person to be able to develop his wings, to know his self, to be able to stand mula kadosh baruch Hu with the real self that he is, okay? And this is the way Rabbi Nachman believes is the right way להכשיר את האנשים. And at the end of the day, each and every one of us is his own leader, is his own manhig, okay? טוב, בוא נמשיך הלאה. Rabbi Nachman wants to say another word over here about the Anaga, and then we're going to talk about the inner tovanot of the story. Okay, Rabbi Nachman says that when he sends people out into the world, okay, when he sends people, Becky said, what? He just drops them out into the world. He doesn't drop them out into the world. He puts them in different nests, okay, and he's going to make sure that there's a bird there, the crow, that's going to incubate the bird, the egg, that's going to turn into a bird. הוא לא זורק אותם בעולם, הוא שם אותם בקן, ויש שם ציפור שתתגור, ויש שם אחרי זה עם הציפור שתביא אוכל לפה שלהם. Okay? And he wants to say here something very interesting. He says שהוא מרחק אותם על מנת לקרב. Okay? Rabbi Nachman is banishing them or distancing them from him, not as a punishment, God forbid, not as a punishment, but in order to bring them close again. Okay? In order to bring them close. Because what happens, let's talk about the Hasidim, and then we're going to talk about ourselves. Okay? When I think I mentioned already that there's a beautiful book, Through Fire. I think it's called Through Fire, that Chaim something, I forgot his last name, wrote about the life. It's an autobiography about Rabbi Natan. Rabbi Natan was Rabbi Nachman's talmid, was his student. Okay, and over there he writes that he had a lot of difficulties with his wife and children and health and parnasa. And then his father-in-law wanted to banish him. He said, "What are you busy with, Rabbi Nachman? You should be busy making a life and being a manhig here and make parnasa, make money." And he had a lot of issues. And whenever he went to Rabbi Nachman was able to give him good recommendations and good advice and make him feel good about himself. He would really uplift his moral, his matzav ruach. And he always wanted to go to Rabbi Nachman. And Rabbi Nachman didn't let him. He used to tell him, don't. You have to stay in your village, and you have to do whatever you have to do there. Don't come to me. Look for the answers within yourself. And he talks a lot about the yearning that he wanted to come to Rabbi Nachman to learn from him. And this is what Rabbi Nachman says, that when you distance yourself, when you banish, not in a negative way, in a positive way, then the person has more ratzon, more will, more yearning to come close back to Rabbi Nachman. Okay? So this is a little bit about the Anagav Rabbi Nachman, and now let's go into ourselves. So maybe the first thing that we start off talking about distance, banishing, and then it causes you to come closer. I think a very good way to understand it is to take on imshal of a person that's walking in the desert, and at the beginning he's walking and enjoying himself and seeing different views and whatever. And then there comes a stage that he understands that he got lost, that he doesn't know where he is. At the beginning, he didn't know that he was lost. Rabbi Nachman says, this is when you don't even know that you were lost. And then comes a stage when you say, okay, I don't know where I am. So what is the first thing you do when you don't know where you are? Mausim.
Like a compass.
Etty, you have to unmute yourself so I can hear you.
I didn't say anything, but I was just laughing. I put on weight. You look at your surroundings and you try to get your bearings.
Okay, what else? You look around. Maod. What are we trying to do? Once we understand that we got lost, what are we trying to do? We're trying to basically look around, see what's going on around us, try to recognize maybe a place, and to find the way back. אנחנו מחפשים את הדרך בחזרה, נכון? If we have a map, we'll take out a map, we'll look, נחפש את הדרך שמחזיר אותנו חזרה. כלומר, only when you get lost, are you going to open up your map and see what is the right way for me to get back לדרך המלך. And when you think about it in terms of our inner selves, okay, I just had a discussion with my friend, and she was telling me that she feels that something wrong is going on with her, that she's not herself, not physically, but more spiritually or emotionally. And she says that she feels very lo benoch. Someone invited her to come over for a meal, and she said that she's not going out because of the corona, but she says she feels that she wasn't 100% בכנות, honest, because she really didn't want to go to her, and she felt that she just gave her a good teruts, but she wasn't very honest, and it bothers her. And then and a few more, כל מיני דוגמאות כאלה קטנות, a few more examples. And then I told her, it's exactly what Rabbi Nachman says. You feel that something's off with yourself, that you're not yourself. And only once you realize that you're not yourself, you start looking for who your real self is. To understand that making up an excuse doesn't make me feel good with myself. I want to be an honest person. I want to be b'derech shel emet. Okay? So only once you realize that you are on a different track, you're not who you are, then you really start looking and figuring out who you really want to be. What really is the path that you want to go on, that you want to walk on. So this is marchiko al menat lekarev. Okay? Now I'm going to give you another mashal, okay? In order to make the next point that I want to say about this little story, about this mashal, is that when you throw up a stone into the air, it's going upwards, right, towards the sky. But at the end, where does it go? It comes right back down, right? This is physics, כוח הכובד. נכון? איך אומרים כוח הכובד באנגלית? Gravity, right? This is gravity. You throw up the stone, but while it's making its way up on the opposite direction, נכון? It's really all the time coming back to where it's supposed to be. It's really making its way back to the ground. Okay? אני אגיד בעברית ואחרי זה באנגלית. אוקיי? זה כמו שיש איזשהו כוח מאוד עדין ולא נראה, שכל הזמן מושך את האבן חזרה אל המקום שבו היא צריכה להיות. וככה גם בחיים שלנו. כל הזמן בחיים שלנו יש כוח שמושך אותנו חזרה, שכל הזמן מביא אותנו לדרך שבו אנחנו צריכות להיות. Okay? I'm going to try to translate as best as I can into English. Just like the stone that's being thrown up into the air, and it seems that it's going the wrong way because it's really going to come back down. So the same thing in our life. There's a very, איך אומרים, איזשהו כוח, אני רוצה להגיד כוח הדין.
No, adin.
It's not strength. It's something
gentle.
A gentle strength.
No,
I don't think it sounds good. So I don't know how to say it, but there's what, May?
No, okay.
Do you understand what I want to say?
I think so.
Okay, there's something very, very gentle that we can't see, we can't understand, but it's always pulling us back to the place where we're supposed to be. And what does that mean? It means that we go through our life and we have a lot of things going on in our life, good things, less good things. And we can always, we tend to think, what does this have to do with me? Why do I have to be busy now with this kind of an issue with my friends? And why am I busy now running after doctors? And then I deserve to have a better חיי זוגיות, a marriage, a better marriage, and כל אחת עם מה שקורה לה בחיים שלה. And if we'll only understand that all these things that are happening to us are like these very gentle, איך אומרים כוח?
Strength.
לא, strength זה לא מילה טובה. Strength זה עוצמה. Power, maybe power. Energy, power, force. Maybe force is the right word. A very gentle force that's always, all these things that are happening to us, are actually a very gentle force that is bringing us back to the place where we're supposed to be. What does it mean bringing us back to the place where we're supposed to be? Because everything that happens to us in life, it comes to build something in our inner self. Okay? זה עבודת המידות שלנו. זה היכולת שלנו להתגבר, להתמודד. And I said it a few times, I'm going to remind you that Baal Shem Tov says that if every person can understand that everything, I call it the trio of a Baal Shem Tov. Trio because it's three. Okay? One belief is that everything that happens is from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Everything that happens to me is meduyak li. Okay? It's specially for me. It's not by mistake. And the third thing is that everything is from Hashem that happens to me, וזה לטובתי, להצמיח אותי, to make me grow. Okay? It's just like the guy that thinks that he came to hotel, but he came to Wingate, he came to the Cheder Kosher to work on himself. Or as I like to say, the life is a workout room for שירי הנפש, חדר כושר לשירי הנפש שלנו. Okay? So Rabbi Nachman says about this, I think I sent you that sentence, כשאדם יודע שכל מאורותיו הם לטובתו, זאת הבחינה היא מעין עולם הבא. When a person understands, don't forget that Baal Shem Tov was Rabbi Nachman's great-grandfather. Okay, so הוא מושפע ממנו מאוד. Okay, so Rabbi Nachman tells us over here that when a person understands that anything that happens to him, every me'orah, every reality or everything that happens to him in life, okay, hi letovato, it's for his good, even though we can't always see the good, okay? When we see the good, we're very happy and it's easier for us, but a lot of times we can't see the good, okay? It reminds me that my son, he went out with a girl, and then we told him, what are you going out now with girls? You wanted to go to the army, and היה כזה סיפור שלם, and he realized that she wasn't for him, and they just went out, I think, I don't know, 2 or 3 times, לא איזה מערכת קשרים, and then after he went out with her, he realized that she wasn't for him and whatever, and he didn't want to really go out because he's starting the army, and then he was a little bit disturbed by it, היה לו מאוד לא נעים, he felt very uncomfortable, that he told her that he was going to go out, and then he realized that he's not ready for it yet because it was right before he was drafted to the army. בקיצור, הוא הציע לה לצאת עם מישהו אחר, and they just got engaged. So he told me, he said, אמא, זה ממש כיף לראות את כל המעגל. עכשיו אני מבין למה הייתי צריך לצאת איתה ולעבור את כל החוסר נעימות. היא הייתה הבת של הרב, זה מאוד לא נעים. אז כל האי נעימות הזה היה כדי שאני אשדך לה את החתן שלה. So not always we are zoche to see the whole round. Sometimes we only see part of the picture. And that's why when I say that, or when Rabbi Nachman says that everything is letovatenu, it's something very difficult to understand and to see. And on the other hand, Rabbi Nachman says when you are willing to see that, it's me'en olam haba. Why is he saying it's me'en olam haba? Because if we're talking about olam haba, what's going to happen there? Reminds us a little bit of the Sipur of Gan Eden, but Me'en Olam Haba, in Gan Eden, we were one with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And then because of the snake, we grew apart. Adam and Chava were banished, were chased out of Gan Eden, and the rest of the story is known. But when you understand that everything that Hashem is doing, it's for you, and it's to make you grow, so then you become one with Hashem. Okay? And I want to say another very nice thing that Rabbi Nachman says about this. Rabbi Nachman says, it says in Sefer Yeshayahu, Melo kol haaretz kevodo, right? We say it every day in our tefillah in Shacharit. And he says, even if you fall to a very low place and you feel that you're in such a deep pit and you don't know how to get out of there, and you're legamre azavta et haderech, and you became something that you don't want to become, and you really feel very disgusted with yourself. He says, then you should. How can a person help himself when he's in such a black in a ditch? איך אתה יוצא מכזה חור שחור, מכזה בור? He says, if you really understand that מלוא כל הארץ כבודו, then you know that Hashem is also with you down there in the black ditch. He's with you. All you have to do is connect to him, and then you'll be able to come out of that horrible place. מלוא כל הארץ כבודו, any place where you are, הקדוש ברוך הוא can take you out from there. Okay? טוב, בוא נמשיך עוד קצת, because our time is running too fast over here. Okay. So what does it really mean, the whole mashal of the bird? So first of all, you know that Adam mashul et tzipor, and Rav Kook talks a lot about a man as a bird, right? You're familiar with the song, Ben Adam עלה למעלה עלה. נכון, אתם מכירות את זה? כוח עז לך, כנפי רוח, אל תתכחש בהם. So there are a lot of mishalim of a person as being a bird. And besides the fact that the bird can fly and come into different mechozot ruchaniyim, being very spiritual places, the bird is actually the only animal that connects between shamayim va'aretz. Right? The bird flies up in the shamayim, up high in the sky, she can fly. And on the other hand, she's inside the ground. She digs with her makol, with her, not with her mouth, with her spout. Her beak. With her beak inside the ground to pick out different worms to bring back to her baby chicks, right? So the bird is actually constantly mechaberet, she's connected, labriyot. She's connecting between Shamayim va'aretz. And this is something that a person has to know how to do also. Every person has these two different extremes in him. One very physical and chumri, and the other extreme is Neshama Elohit shenafat bi. We have a nitzotz eloki betochenu. And we're constantly busy connecting between these two different extremes, just like the bird. Okay? Another thing that I want to say about this is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent us out into the world, and our neshama started off with kisei kavod, and then we were put into this world, and all our work in this world, marchiko al menat lekarev, or maybe you're more familiar with yeridat tzorech aliyah. Everything is in order to get back close to Hashem. Okay? HaKadosh Baruch Hu put our neshama here in the world, in a body, and our avodah, our job, is to get closer every day, to get closer to Hashem. Every day to do avodah pnimit, or to work in this workout, place of workout that we are, in order to litkarev el HaKadosh Baruch Hu. One of the very nice things that I learned once, and that I use it a lot in coaching, is the bird. If we're talking about the birds, so the bird has her egg. And the shell of the egg is very special because the shell is very protective for what's going on inside the egg, right? The shell could, איך אומרים לסנן? could, איך אומרים לסנן? מה?
Drain.
Drain, no, not to drain.
Strain. Strain.
To filter.
To filter.
Filter, that's
Okay.
better.
The shell of the egg can filter inside the right temperature, the right humidity, darkness and light, okay? The shell can filter everything, whatever is absorbed inside, and there's things that she leaves outside, okay? And she filters in only whatever is ideal for the little baby chick to grow inside the egg until she comes out. Another interesting thing about the shell is that the shell from the outside, it's much harder to break it open than from the inside. From the inside, to break open the shell is much easier, okay, because the way it's built. Why am I telling you about the egg? Because a lot of times I tell my kids or in the coaching that every one of us has, we have אנחנו יכולות להרגיש כמו בביצה. We can feel as if we are inside the shell. What does it mean to feel inside the shell? It means to feel protected. It means to feel that whatever you need in order to grow, to strengthen yourself, to feel good, you have everything inside. The right temperature, the right food, the right humidity, the right nozlim, enough water, okay? Only you can, and not only that, you can also filter in whatever comes inside your egg. If someone says bad words to you, you can leave them out, just like the filter of the shell. If someone yells at you, if someone wants to barge into your egg, you can leave them out. It's your tafkid, it's your mission, it's your job to filter out whatever doesn't make you feel good, whatever can cause you to feel פגועה, איך אומרים פגוע?
Disturbed.
Hurt,
Disturbed.
or disturbed, or worried. Okay, it's in your ability to take care of what's going inside the egg. איך אני אומרת להם? אף אחד לא אחראי על מה שנכנס לביצה שלך, רק את אחראית. You're the only one that's in charge of what you let in through your shell or not. So don't come to me and tell me that the guy said this and that, and that's why you were afraid to say what you think. You are in charge. You are in charge of your shell. If he says things that you don't like, don't let them come into your shell. Okay? And to constantly remind ourselves that only we are in charge, and only we can protect whatever's going inside the egg, whatever is going underneath the shell. And sometimes when we just want to feel good with ourselves, we can just imagine how we feel inside that shell, protected and loved, okay? That we need whatever we need, we have in there. My life is very nice and sweet inside there. Even just to meditate, it really can cause a very good feeling, okay?
But at the same time, you can't stay inside the shell all the time. You need to hatch out and meet the life, the real life.
נכון, בעצם what Chana is saying, I want to take it another step further, is that there are different phases in life. There are different times. Sometimes it's right for us to stay inside the shell and protect ourselves. Sometimes we break the shell and we come out and we fly to different places. And then we build a new shell. And the shell that I had yesterday doesn't have to be the same filter as the shell of today. אנחנו כל הזמן משתנות. We're constantly changing, just like the bird. נכון? The bird is constantly, איך אומרים נדידה? רגע. You know, the birds are again. One second, just looking up in Morphic. Sorry. To migrate, נכון. Is that the way you say it? A bird migrates? Migrates? Sorry. The birds are always migrating from the cold countries to the warm countries. Derech Agav, Israel is one of the few places around the world that's mamash in the center of their shvil, של הנתיב שלהם. Migration, נכון. Okay, so it's just like the Jewish person, he never stands in one place. נכון, אומרים היהודי הנודד. היהודי הוא כמו הציפור, כל הזמן היא נודדת ממקום אחד למקום שני. The bird is always migrating, just like a Jewish person or האיש הישראלי, רבי נחמן says, okay? Always migrating from one place to the other place to find what she needs for her neshama at that stage, at that phase. אז תודה רבה על ההערה הזאת, חנה. זה הזכיר לי שרציתי להגיד את זה, ולא רציתי להגיד את זה. Okay, so maybe we can sum up and say that we have here two different ways to understand the story of the bird. Okay, the first thing is Rabbi Nachman is talking about tzurat ha'anaga, the way of being a leader. Okay, in Rabbi Nachman's eyes, to be a leader is not to hover over your people. It's not to put them in one nest and to make them feel in a cozy place, in a warm place, inside a chamama. זה לא הדרך, זה לא השיטה. He says that on the contrary, when you distance yourself, when you send them off to stand each one, כל אחד בפני עצמו מול הקדוש ברוך הוא, this is what's going to teach him who his real self is. This is what's going to help him develop his wings to fly higher and higher b'avodat Hashem. He says this is the way. He's not, I just want to say again to remind you that he's not saying dump them someplace else and forget about them. No, he's laying them very nicely in someone else's nest. He has to work very hard. Don't forget that cuckoo works very hard before she lays her eggs in someone else's nest. She spends there a few days. She has to look to see what's going on. She has to bring her, I wanted to say her husband, but they don't have a husband. It's just a male that whoever's around, and he shoos away. And they have a lot of work in order for her to lay her eggs.
So in other words, you're saying that they laid the foundation.
Yeah.
And once the foundation is laid and the Talmid is secure enough, they can go out, they can filter the world because they have a basis and they are both motivated and prepared to face the world and to help, not just themselves, but the people around them.
Nachon. First of all, thank you so much for saying it in such beautiful English words that I have to break my teeth over them. Thank you very much. אבל I want to say even לחזק את מה שאת אומרת, that it's not only once the base is funded, but there is a base, but what's going to help them more than anything to be motivated and to be able to go out to help is to manage themselves on their own mula kadosh baruch hu. It's just like, like the egg, when the egg is being hatched, so the little baby chick inside the egg is working very, very hard to break the shell. But why does she have to work hard to break the shell? Because it develops the muscles in her wings so she'll be able to fly afterwards. If you're going to do the work for the baby chick and you're going to break open the egg for her, then you basically killed her. Because what's going to happen, she's going to try to fly, but her muscles aren't strengthened enough. And then she's going to fall down and gevot tzipor teref, and it's going to prey on her, and that was the end of her. אז זה מה שרבי נחמן בעצם אומר לנו. Okay, you can't do everything for the egg. You have to let him hatch. Okay? And the second thing that we talked about was marchiko mekarvo. על ידי זה שמרחיקים, when you banish. I think banish sounds like in a negative way. So maybe we can use the word distance. When you distance people from you in a good way, then you're actually causing them to yearn your closeness, and then they're going to come back close. It reminds me, I think we spoke about it, I don't know, maybe a month ago, about Adam and Chava, that they were gav legav, remember? ואז התרחקו ועשו את הסיבוב, and then they came close. יש בזה סכנה, there's something dangerous about it when you send someone far away from you, because you may lose them. But it's a rizika, it's a risk that you have to take in order for them to come back close. Okay, so Rabbi Nachman is talking about that over here also. We're talking also about ourselves. When we understand that we strayed off the main derech and that we're not who we want to be, that's the beginning part. That's the turning point when you're starting to look for yourself. Till then, I didn't look for myself. Everything was fine. I thought it was close even. But only when you understand that you're far away, only then do you start looking how to get back close again, and who do you want to get close to, and why do I want to, כאילו זה ממש עבודה פנימית מאוד חזקה of who I want to be, who do I want to get close to, וכולי וכולי. Maybe I asked a few questions at the beginning about the bird, about the cuckoo, to ask, does the bird at the end know that she's not a crow? She hears the chirping of the song of her mother, and that brings her close back to her mother. Maybe it means that during all the time that she spent in someone else's nest, she had to develop a very good sense of hearing in order to listen to, that every bird has a different sound. She makes a different sound. If you hear the bird, you can go on in Google and YouTube, and you could hear the different sounds of birds, and every sound is a different name of a bird. זה ממש מעניין. אז גם הקוקייה, she hears that her sound is different than the crow's sound, and she's listening carefully. היא מחדדת את השמיעה שלה. She's developing a very good sense of hearing in order to hear her mother's song, her mother's chirping. Till then, maybe she thinks that she's growing up with the crows. Her mother is a crow, her siblings are crows, she's eating what they eat, she's in their nest. Maybe I'm a crow. And Rabbi Nachman says, לא להתבלבל, okay? Don't mix up the facts with the reality over here. נכון? לא להתבלבל. You have to look at yourself, you have to look at your surroundings and understand who you are. The bird has to understand that she's different than her siblings in the nest, that she's not a crow. And this is a lot of our work, constantly, to differentiate between החוץ והפנים, between what we see outside us and what everyone is doing and what's normal to do and what's מקובל to do, okay? And between who we really are from inside and what is right and מדויק for me. So זה סיפור באמת מאוד מיוחד ומאוד מעניין, because it has a lot of different faces and a lot of different points that we can develop, אבל ככה פחות או יותר נגענו בכמה דברים. ובעזרת השם, that we should develop our hearing and our seeing, our sight, to see who we are and what we are. If we got lost, if we went off the road to find the right road and to להתקרב חזרה אל הקדוש ברוך הוא, מתוך רצון, מתוך הבנה, that everything that Hashem does, כל מה שהשם מרחיק זה לטובתנו, וזה מעין עולם הבא. So בהצלחה, בעזרת השם, we should all succeed in that. And it's great to see you over here.
תודה, תודה.
Thank you very much.
בשמחה רבה. כן?
תוכלי להתקשר אליי? מתי שנוח לך.
כן, בטח, אין בעיה, בשמחה. עכשיו אני אתקשר אלייך.
בסדר, תודה.
להתראות.
תודה רבה.
ביי.